Thanks for making CBS 46 the fastest growing news in Atlanta.
Some Georgia nursing homes now becoming hotspots for coronavirus cases.
And tonight we are learning one facility in particular has a growing number of patients and several deaths. CBS 46's Karen Greer investigates this major problem.
At a graveside funeral service for a prominent Atlanta educator, there were no big crowds, just her family left to grieve alone. Only after Ernestine Miles Mann was dying from COVID-19 did her family learn she was one of 60 residents and staff at an Arbor Terrace senior facility who contracted the illness.
Was a strong lady always. She was a diva.
This is how Carla McKinney and Bill Mann remember their mom, Ernestine Miles Mann. A teacher for 30 years at Atlanta Public Schools, Mann's students respected her challenging but nurturing nature.
She definitely pushed them to be the best that they can be.
So her children say they were shocked when Mann was rushed from Arbor Terrace at Cascade, her assisted living facility, to the hospital and diagnosed with coronavirus.
That's when everything just started spiraling out of control from there.
Mann is one of 6 Arbor Terrace residents who have died from COVID-19 since late March. The outbreak there has accelerated at such an alarming rate. Nearly 80% of residents are fighting the deadly illness. Fulton County Interim Health Director says it's the largest outbreak at assisted living facilities in Fulton and DeKalb counties.
I think what's concerning about this particular incident at Arbor Terrace is how many folks were asymptomatic at the time.
CBS 46 Investigates has learned not all Arbor Terrace workers were wearing personal protective equipment, which could have helped stop the spread of the virus.
This shortage of PPE is a constant issue for all of us. And so, I can't criticize efforts being made if there weren't adequate supplies to protect the staff.
The state requires assisted living facilities to have infection control plans and an adequate supply of cleaning and first aid materials in stock. And all facilities are required to report outbreaks to the Georgia Department of Public Health. Mann was the first case to test positive on March 26th, and residents and staff weren't tested until the following week, April 3rd. The latest numbers show 47 out of 61 residents there have tested positive, and 13 out of 81 staff as well.
You had to notice, though, that something was wrong. No one else realized they needed to get her to the hospital, and that's what frightens me.
Yes. I don't know if they didn't realize or not. I knew because that's my mom.
McKinney and Mann told me their last visit with their mom was through her apartment window. She looked weak and could barely walk.
We were trying to be cheerful on the outside as we watched her on the inside of that window. And who knew that that day would be the last day we would see our mom alive.
It's not rocket science. It's really give people information as it becomes readily available and tell people to protect themselves. It's real simple.
Dr. Roderick Edmond is a medical doctor and attorney. He says facilities need to be more diligent in informing and protecting staff and residents. A lack of state and federal regulations make it difficult to hold them accountable.
The reality is that a lot of people who do things wrong are going to be cut some slack because this is just so new. It's so different. But then there are going to be some people who do things that are just so patently egregious and wrong and in violation of all common sense that they're going to be held accountable for it.
A spokesperson for Arbor Terrace tells me residents have been quarantined and says they're now stocked with sufficient protective equipment. We will continue to monitor the situation. For CBS 46 Investigates, I'm Karen Greer.